So as mentioned in my email this morning, Mike, we get the first half hour is all about you. If you wanted any Q&A, please make sure it's all inside of the half an hour, and then we move to a member only call after that. So if you want to
Perfect.
go ahead and get started and let everybody know who you are, and they can start hearing your presentation.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Great to be here with everybody. We have Catherine, we've done an event together. We've also had a few, or I guess Bluebelt has sponsored an event. We've also been to a few of the AEG events as well. They've been fantastic and really love the leadership within the provincial, I guess the industry leadership within the province, and really love what you guys are doing. So great to be here with everybody today. Are we going to do a round of introductions or should I just
No?
dive in?
Yeah, dive in.
Okay, great. Well, I have my slides here and I'm going to present them over to you. So, disclaimer, everything was created by AI for this presentation. So, the slides, the script, the introduction, everything. So, we're very bullish. We're very bullish on the technology, and today we're going to talk about smarter hiring, how companies are leveraging AI in talent acquisition. So, just to I don't know if we can do hands. I don't know if we can kind of poll the group, but really, who thinks I want to know who thinks that AI is going to be the 1930s disruptor of completely taking everybody's job, or who is also very, let's say, positive, who holds AI in more of a positive light. I'd love to know if anybody has any ideas on it right now.
I'll just use your hands, you guys, if you want to speak to Mike. Well, I'll give you my opinion. I absolutely love AI. It is going to crush a lot of jobs, but I also think like any other time the world has changed dramatically. We find ways to pivot and retrain, but I also think it's already enhancing our lives, lives at CBI, AEG, and our work we do with Anderson. So we're loving it. I'm very bullish on it as well.
There's a lot of there are a ton of efficiencies that you could be using AI for. I mean, from document generation all the way to administrative work around scheduling and calendars. It's amazing what's going on right now. Some people are the opinion that it's going to absolutely disrupt the face of the workforce and what our labor force looks like. So much so as the 1930s. I don't know, but right now people are pretty worried. So we have a talent acquisition company that's in the light industrial space, and what we want to do with AI right now is see how we can take the low value admin work that's completely bogging down some hiring teams and some HR teams, to see if they could focus on the higher value tasks, which in our opinion is the training, which is the human interactions that take place within the hires, everything that's the in-person and the high value human tasks versus so much the admin work. So that's what we do at Bluebelt. I'm a co-founder and CEO along with my technical co-founder. We are trying to revolutionize the way that talent acquisition is done in the light industries. So this would be things like construction. You could put oil and gas in there, mining and metals, warehouse logistics, trucking, transportation, all that good stuff. So 72% of HR teams are already using AI weekly in their workflows, and that's increasing year over year. I don't know if you've seen the funny videos. I'll show you one from Bloomberg that are candidates using AI and also the let's say the HR teams that are also that are using AI to screen applications. You're seeing this arms race that's taking place where you don't know who a real application is, and you also don't know who's using AI on the back end to screen applications. And so the result is a shift. The result is a shift in the way that people are doing talent acquisition and the way that people are hiring for their workforce. And I saw a pretty pivotal presentation a couple of years ago by Jeffrey Hinton. So he was Google AI and DeepMind, but before that, he invented machine learning. And he constantly talks about the idea that the workforce could be replaced by AI within the next few years. Now, that is a more of an extreme opinion compared to all the other ones that are going on right now. But essentially, you have a lot of knowledge work that's being replaced by AI right now. So we have to kind of know what's going on. But some of the narrative is people who are using AI will replace the people who aren't using AI, and that's really where the balance is. But really, it's like how fast can we work using this thing? Um, where a lot of the customers that we're working with right now and what industry leaders are saying is that AI can automate certain jobs that have a high admin task. So the ones that are in a recent McKinsey report that I'd encourage all of you to read, it is the customer service, executive assistants, and clerical or administrative roles. That's really where we're seeing the automation take place, as well as some sales, some paralegal, some other I would say, yeah, clerical staff. And so where we see AI in talent acquisition is in resume parsing and how we have a more optimized process of looking at keywords in folks' resumes rather than your traditional Boolean keyword search technology. Other things that we're looking at is how can HR leaders load up a ChatGPT powered technology and look at knockout features. So you're looking at 500 resumes. How are you looking? How can you really knock down that entire stack of resumes just to look at folks that satisfy your basic requirements for the job? This would be something like someone who has 5 years of experience. Is it indicated on their resume? Great. Let's only look at the folks that do have that 5 years of experience on their resume. Voice AI. I'm not sure if any of you have interacted with our with AI, voice AI technology, but it can be uncanny in terms of what's coming out of AI. And we'll show you a video in a moment that is pretty interesting that shows the how much AI voice interactions have accelerated over the past few years. And yeah, really how we can improve this applicant tracking system technology that traditional HR teams are using to bring it forward to something more automated and AI powered. So something I want to show you. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. We might get an ad here to start off. Let's let that run. Free JP Morgan advertisement on behalf of AEG. We'll see how we can get forward from this. Okay, I'm going to fast forward to the point at which I think is actually valuable for everybody here. I'm going to go at 50 seconds. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to try this volume here. Catherine, could you give me a thumbs up if you can hear it?
No.
Okay, let me try again here. I will share with volume. Sound. Okay, let's try again.
Little dystopian. This viral clip, with over 375,000 likes, features an AI interviewer repeating the phrase vertical bar potties. The company behind it, A Priori, blamed a voice model error and said it was fixed quickly. Other companies say that the AI can struggle to answer specific questions from candidates about the role. Some candidates say they like the flexibility, but a majority of Americans polled last year by Consumer Reports said they were uncomfortable with the idea of algorithms grading their video interviews. Ribbon says 15% of its interviews on the platform go beyond the screener stage, and that's up from 1% a few months ago. And it's not just large companies using AI during interviews. AI tools for interviewees like Final Round AI and AI Apply have also grown in popularity. So in our very near AI-powered future, we could be interviewed by AI bots while using AI to generate the perfect response. And for better or for worse, these tools are catching on fast.
If you're selected to move forward, you'll hear from us in the next few days.
And so we have a little bit about the, I guess, risks or concerns about voice AI and talent acquisition coming from Bloomberg. And you're seeing articles from the New York Times, from the Wall Street Journal that are talking about the same thing right now. So yeah, it's people are having different mixed reactions to it right now. So let's go to our next slide. Really, we're very bullish on the voice AI side of talent acquisition just because it's more reliable than what you have for one-way interviews or virtual interviewers. It's a lot more human, it's a lot more realistic, it's a lot more, again, like I said, reliable versus the virtual side, which is kind of weird when you're talking to an AI bot on the other side. When there's that animated character that's talking to you. And one-way interviews, I'm not sure if you've all had experience with it. They aren't great. They're very cold, and they seem to be very boring and not engaging at all. But essentially, that with the automation that's taking place and the multilingual support, we can support French, English, Spanish in our AI interviewers, and with the sentiment analysis that's going on. So really looking at phone scripts and what candidates are putting into their own answers, and that's being scored by AI, plus the rapid turnaround. It's kind of a no-brainer in the talent acquisition space, at least. We can go through, I think we went through that already. This is a little bit about Bluebelt. So we can support over 1,000 applicants per week when it comes to your job postings. We can do 90% faster screening than what you would be able to do before. And we work at about 3x the speed of what a hiring team could do in terms of pre-qualifying candidates, in terms of what managers get back on their from data from their hiring process, and really where we turn like overwhelming spreadsheets, admin work into more solid, intelligent data that hiring teams can use to make the best decision and for their new hires at their companies and their new recruits. So right now, old talent acquisition is on the way out in terms of manual screening from resumes from Indeed. It's slow. A lot of times it's biased, and we can get into that conversation in the Q&A. But AI is delivering better results for in talent acquisition and in hiring. And don't think it's going to be a all one size fits all as well. A lot of our customers like resume scoring, like interviewing, like text message automation as well. Depends on what you need for your company. And I think that's really, if you're looking to talent acquisition automation or any other type of automation, don't think of it as a one size fits all approach, but look at your workflow, understand your workflow, and then move into any AI automation that you see fit for your internal processes. And last point that I'll leave with is, it's going to be something that puts you ahead of your competitors. It's going to be something that will allow you to push past your competition in your industry, how you can hire faster, how you can hire better talent. And sometimes that same competing talent that you're going for, it just depends on who's first, and you can speed up your processes, internal processes with AI. So I want to open up the next 15 minutes for any questions that you all have, anything that you guys want to be talking about in terms of how AI could work for your workflow. We know a ton of AI companies that are operating right now, helping enterprise clients either move faster, be more accurate, or make more money. Let's talk about it. And if you share a dystopian view or you share a more hopeful view about AI, let's talk about it as well. But thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mike. Great presentation. I do have one question before we turn it to anyone else. I'm curious about, we always say, oh, it depends on who's first. Isn't everybody adopting AI and hiring hiring processes? I'm surprised if they're not.
Absolutely great, great question, Catherine. I think that some teams can be a little bit more bearish on the idea of AI in their hiring processes. The fact that you prefer the way that you do things today, the fact that maybe there's a time and money investment that you're not so that your team isn't so motivated to do. And then there's just the fact that they don't know what's going on today, and that could be a little bit intimidating for the HR teams that are at certain companies. Everyone has their different pace of adoption, and what we're seeing on the ground is companies in manufacturing that are really picking this thing up a lot quicker, even the heavy industries. And then obvious one, technology is first. So any type of tech company is looking at AI talent acquisition first because they're just tech native. But yeah, great question. A lot of folks have their own pace of adoption.
Okay, thanks, Mike. And did you see the question from Shondell? I'll read it for everyone.
Cool.
Where have you had the most success in using AI for hiring? Is there an area where it is still not as effective?
I think that if you have yeah, this is a good question, and it gets a lot of us, a lot of the players in this market. I think if you have a high field workforce, so if you're a servicing company, and you're servicing, let's say, LNG infrastructure, this would be great because the jobs that you're likely hiring for in high volume would be technicians, field roles, operators, and it's really, can you show up and are you reliable? Do you have the skills and all the other admin available? Are you able to be away from your family for 2 weeks to go work out? And let's say in Northern Alberta, blue collar roles, technical roles, hands-on roles, very, very effective. I'd say we're AI talent acquisition and hiring have a very long way to go, would be the managerial and C-suite roles. To put a manager that's going to be managing dozens of people through an AI hiring process would be, I'd say, ill-advised, because you have to assess for so much. Quite often there are six to eight round interviews for these roles, and it's just, when you're looking for a people-based role, it's you need to have a person-based interview process and less of an AI-based interview process. And I'd say that that's where we're seeing a big divide between managerial and executive hiring versus I would say more field hiring and workforce hiring.
Excellent. Good answer. Thank you. Any other questions? Oh, there we go. From Shondell. Thanks, Mike. Very exciting times. Agreed. Robin has a question. Go ahead, Robin.
Great presentation, Mike. Back
Thank
in
you.
the 2010s, like there was a lot of, I guess, preliminary software that would do like initial parsing of resumes and match them to candidates. Based on what you just said in your last answer to Sean, like, is there a good hybrid approach if we're using those tools at the early level to kind of separate the wheat from the chaff, and then introducing like a human in the loop as the maybe second, third round of in-person interviews proceed? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that this is where you really have to know your team's workflow before you adopt any type of AI automation. And I think that where AI does a really, really good job is around the resume parsing. And no doubt that I would have no doubt that if your firm put out a job posting for a junior analyst or entry level role coming out of university, post-secondary, that you would get 1,000 applicants. It's a very tough job market right now, that there are a lot of folks that are looking for work, and especially for youth. And I think that those are really good roles to use a AI resume parser, application parser, to look at who your fit would be, and not have your team spend 100 hours on going through resumes. That would be a great use case. So, and then a little bit more advanced would, let's say, be technical screening for engineers and for other technical roles. So let's say if you have a senior engineer, senior civil engineer that had to have many different demonstrated technical skills, that's a little bit harder for AI to do. So if you have 500 applicants, bringing that down to a top 20 via resume scoring, great use case. Hiring a senior engineer with 10 years of experience to understand if their demonstrated skill of technical drawings, that would be a little bit more difficult. So that's where I would say the divide between using AI automation in your hiring would be most relevant.
Thanks, Mike. Very good. Any other questions? Okay, I've got another one. What is your exact sweet spot for clients? What is an ideal client for you, Mike?
So for Bluebelt, this has been obviously a novel journey, and what we're looking at right now is any folks out there who have a large workforce that may turn over a few months, that have a seasonal boom and bust in terms of hiring, or that you just have a very lean team, and that you're looking to keep that team lean and not having to hire on more folks. An automation software like ours I think would be a great fit. Not to say that we would want to automate anybody's work that they do today, but rather, instead of having them going through 500 applications, they'd only have to go through we would do that all for them, and then they can focus on their higher value tasks. I would say that anybody who's really trying to decrease the amount of admin hours within your service-based or high touch industry would be perfect for us. And we'd love to do on behalf of AEG, do a demo, try us out for a month or two, see if it works for you guys, and if it does, then we can go forward. But anybody looking for hiring automation, I'm all ears, and my contact is there on this slide. Happy to help.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you for that. We have another question from Canvas. While AI is a great tool, using it for screening resumes may not be a good idea, as the good applicants with weak resume writing skills will be eliminated at competition only based on wording. How does your system compensate for that?
Great question. Very, very, very good question. Resumes suck. They writing
so.
it, creating them. It's a, I'm not going to say outdated, but it's kind of just the system that we've had nowadays, and it's been the one that we've used. The best would be competency-based recruiting, I'd find. And Catherine, I guess one of your AEG members, or at least partners or friends of AEG, the ICBA, is all about that competency-based recruiting. And I know that for any job, let's look at the skills that people have, and assess that first. So great question. What we know about resume screening is that there's a 0.1% correlation between how good your resume is versus how you will perform on a job. It's very low. It's 10%. That's very low correlation. But I think what we've been able to learn about that is, if we can send folks a initial form that would test their very basic understanding of the job, almost like an administrative form, that application form that you'd send somebody, helps see who's engaged in the process. Then we are working with a client right now that would rather have phone interviews up front. So we actually have AI interviewers, bots that would go out, and very, very engaging ones and good listeners that would talk to all of our candidates in the process first before then scoring their resume. So we hear from them first on 10 questions that the employer loves to hear back from, or loves to ask their questions, or loves to ask their candidates. So we'll do again, initial screening form, an interview, then we'll head over to the resume. So how TA is kind of looked at nowadays is the more data points that you can add throughout a talent acquisition process, the stronger, the better you're going to be able to predict job fit of your final candidates. And I would employ everybody. I would encourage everybody to look at how many pieces of data that you can take from your candidates in an engaging way. You're not going to make them write an essay, personal essay, but take the time to gather as much data as you can about your candidates to make an informed decision. And that's really what we do. And you're so right. Resume alone is not the way to do it. It's not the way to do it.
I agree with that, Mike. With my CBI hat, I agree.
Awesome.
Awesome. Any other questions for Mike before we let him go? Going once. Okay, Mike, thank you so much for your presentation today. Thank you for sharing your details with us, and we'll get this sent out to the rest of the members that were unable to join us today.
That's great, Catherine. Hope everybody has a great day and great remainder of your week. Thanks so much.